Welcome to the realm of magic and mystery, classic horror and sci-fi. You are now entering the House of the Unusual podcast with your hosts, Eddie and Joe. Welcome all you cool ghouls and friendly fiends. It's the House of the Unusual podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pavlansky. With me, as always, are my good friends, Eddie Guevara, Chuck, and Cheri Caputo. What's up, everyone?
Woohoo!
Hello there. Woohoo.
All righty. Well, hey, we got a lot of stuff to get into today and some very important stuff that I'm going to be talking about right now that has to do with the podcast. But before we get to that, I'm just going to go over a little bit of some horror news and all that's out there for all you horror and sci-fi fanatics of the classic type. There's some cool stuff out there for you. So don't miss mymoviemonsters.com for your Scary Monsters magazine and Castle of Frankenstein. Issue number 130 of Scary Monsters, the Monster Memories drive-in issue, is taking pre-orders now due to ship late February. You don't want to miss out on that. Also, the Castle of Frankenstein magazine number 37 is going to be out very soon. They're going to be taking pre-orders for that. So make sure you jump on that. Also, what's really cool for Castle of Frankenstein is that they are doing free classified ads. So if you have say you want to buy or sell something, you want to put in your classified ad. It's not for businesses. It's only for personal use. So check them out. Get a hold of the people at mymoviemonsters.com for whatever, how many word counts and everything. And they'll get you started if you want to put a classified ad in there, which is really cool. So make sure you check that out. All right. Also, we have, let's see. So if you're like me and you're looking for some forum boards to talk classic horror and sci-fi, and you want to meet some like-minded people and learn a lot of stuff, I got a few for you. The first one is the Classic Horror Film Board, and you can get to that by typing in Classic Horror Film Board into a search. It'll pop up where you could go to tapatalk.com/groups/Monster Kid Classic Horror Forum, and it'll take you there. It's free to sign up to get your profile. Tons of cool stuff on there, and you could learn a ton from all these people on there that have been doing this 30, 40 years, talking about this stuff, people that have written books, articles, and all that. So definitely check that out. And also one of my favorite sites is the Universal Monster Army, and you can find that at universalmonsterarmy.com. It is another forum site for classic horror and sci-fi. Tons of great stuff on there. It's free to join make your profile and everything, and post some of your stuff on there, some of your photos, talk about some of the movies and TV shows that you like, and there's tons of stuff to learn on there. And also, don't forget about us at houseoftheunusual.com. We have our own forum site there for whatever that you want to talk about, pop culture, movies, magic, whatever. We have it on there, and I just put up a new thread the other day for martial arts movies. So if you're a martial arts fan, we've been talking about that a lot on here, and you want to talk about some of your favorite movies, put it up on there. I just put up one about Invincible Shaolin from 1978, which is by the Shaw brothers. It is absolutely fantastic. Definitely go over there and check that out. Free to join. You could find the link to all of our podcasts on there, and YouTube channel, everything like that. All right. Also, we have monsterbashnews.com. This is your headquarters for the Monster Bash Horror Convention. They have one coming up in June from the 16th to the 18th at the Marriott Pittsburgh North, and this is going to be fantastic. They have Audrey Dalton from Monster That Challenged the World, Charlotte Austin from Frankenstein 1970, Lynn Lugosi Sparks, who is the granddaughter of Bela Lugosi. She'll be there to talk. Also, Daniel Roebuck from The Monsters and Dr. Shocker, Beverly Washburn from Spider Baby, Tom Savini were on hand. If you don't know about Tom Savini, look him up. He's done a ton of stuff for special effects in the horror genre. We have Pamela Pierce from Legend of Boggy Creek, John Russo from Night of the Living Dead. Author and historian Tom Weaver will be there, along with author and historian Frank Delestrito and author historian Greg Mank. Also, TV horror host Son of Ghoul and Drac and Carita will be there, plus many more will be added as the months go on. So make sure you check that out. There's also some information on the August Movie Film Festival in Canton, Ohio, and the October Monster Bash. So don't miss out on that, monsterbashnews.com. All right. And if you're like all of us out there and you like classic horror sci-fi movies, some classic cartoons, classic kung fu movies, check out themonsterchannel.com. It is a free 24-hour streaming site of all these movies, and they're all hosted by these underground horror hosts. So they're all keeping that alive. You could get it also on your Roku too. You could find the instructions on the website on how to do that. And what I wanted to really talk about right now is some of you guys listening might know this and have done it in the past, but on Classic Horror Film Board, every year they do what is called the Rondo Awards. And the Rondo Awards are, of course, named after Rondo Hatton. He was in a lot of cool horror movies, classic ones. But every year they post nominees for different categories: best movie, best TV show, book, podcast, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. You can read about it on there. There's a link to it right on the main page of the Classic Horror Film Board. But the other day I put in for House of the Unusual for nomination for best podcast.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll get on the ballot.
Yeah.
If a few other people want to go on there and nominate us, that'll be fantastic. The more nominations, the more likely it is to get on the ballot. And I believe the ballot will be out here in a couple weeks, maybe sometime around February, and it goes for a couple months. So once I see that we get on the ballot, then we'll be pushing it a lot more for you guys to vote for us for best podcast.
Definitely. Wow.
So we're going to keep on that week after week. And I'm going to also put a link up on the houseoftheunusual.com's forum site too, for everyone to go to. If they want to make a profile, go on there and nominate us. So I did that the other day. So far, that's the only nomination for us. And, worst thing, we get some free advertisement out of it. Hopefully we get a few more members, but we want to get on that ballot. We want people to see us, and we want people to vote for us, and, maybe come and subscribe to us. So definitely check that out. It'll be on the forum site this week with all the links that you guys will need. We'll keep on it on the podcast to make sure that everybody is up to date on what's happening with that. So very important to us and very important to the podcast as well.
Nice.
So that's all I got on my end. Chuck and Cheri, man, you guys had an eventful week at a magic convention. It looked like a lot of fun. So how was that?
Oh man, it was great. We stayed was it 3 nights, Cheri? 3 days and three nights. It was in Columbus, Ohio, the Magi Fest, and wow. I mean, there was 1,000 people there, 1,000 magicians.
Oh wow.
I mean, magic is the growing hobby, and so it was actually.
We saw some Pittsburghers, we know.
Yeah, there was a lot of people from Pittsburgh actually that were there, and you know what? Quite a few people recognized Cheri and I from her videos. Well, they from her voice, and
they know my voice.
yeah, they said, "Oh, Cheri." Yeah, so that worked out really well. Nice. And then with my association with Murphy's Magic, with the new Inverti line that they came out with, they seen me from there. But that was kind of cool, and I brought some things to demonstrate. I brought a few of my electronic pieces that I built, and so you know why? Because there's always a jam session. You know what? Like after a lecture or something like that, you got hordes of magicians just doing card tricks.
I mean, hordes of magicians. It was so crowded.
Yeah, I tell you what, the dealer room, if you can imagine. I mean, I don't know even how to describe it.
Hard to see anything.
Yeah, it was very difficult to see anything. I mean, there's hordes of people standing around. You had to stand on your tippy toes, tilt sideways, and
yeah. Then we decided we went in when there was a lecture that we didn't want to see, so then it did thin out some. So we were able to videotape and talk to a few people that we saw. So it was nice.
Yeah, we got a picture with Lance Burton, which was kind of cool.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I've been following him since the Carson Show 40 years ago, 38 years ago. He's a good guy. He really is very, very talented.
Real nice, too.
And so they had an award. They had a gala evening of 7 top magicians that won the FISM, which is a competition every year. And
one was our Pittsburgh Paul Gertner.
Yeah, one is a guy from Pittsburgh here, Paul Gertner. But the one gentleman was from, I don't know if it was Manila or something, but he's excellent. I
He was
mean,
on America's Got Talent, right?
yeah,
He was amazing.
it's just absolutely amazing the card flourishes that this guy did and the productions. It was unreal. And so yeah, it was neat. It was she'll check up her name, his name. I can't remember exactly, but yeah. So we had a blast. I bought a few things, a few cool things. I didn't overdo it or anything. And it's a beautiful hotel, the downtown Renaissance in Columbus was very, very nice, and you know what, the restaurant was great. It was a good time. It really was.
Did you get a chance to do any performances down there, like in the lobby or anything like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, I brought a few of my inventions with me, and yeah, you know what? So once we're sitting around the table and stuff and everything at different places, I say, "Hey, would you guys like to see a few things?" So I did bring out a couple of my things, and yeah, it was kind of neat. So then the crowd would gather around, because like most magicians, they love to watch magic as well as perform it too. So I did. I got to do some stuff. Did you find his name, Cheri?
Jun Woo, and he's Korean.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
Korean.
there's
John
a few. Junwoo,
Jung
one word.
Jung Woo.
Jun Woo.
Yeah, he. If you guys look him up
There's
on
some videos on,
YouTube,
yeah.
I mean,
Is he a
he is
younger or older guy?
younger.
He's younger, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say maybe mid to late 20s.
Oh wow.
Probably one of the best card manipulation
Fast,
acts.
quick.
Fast, quick cards. You wouldn't believe it.
Very
I mean,
entertaining.
yeah, very, very entertaining. A lot of skill. Lot of skill.
Mhm.
Some of these younger kids, I got to hand it to them. They're really, really good. Kudos to this guy. He was probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Shoot.
Yeah, there was
What's his last name?
yeah, Shoot Agawa.
Agawa. He's awesome too.
Yeah, he's from Japan, I believe.
Yeah.
And so he did a lecture, which is kind of neat. And what about you, Sherry? You got anything to say?
No, you summed it up. Time. The food was good at the hotel. That's one good thing. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. We had some downtime, but to hang around, talk to people, meet people. We met a lot of people from England, and there was people from all over different places, and it was a lot of fun. One of the gentlemen, Matt Pritchard, we have a little video of him. Well, Chuck was showing him a trick. He wanted to show him, I think it was a skull, I think.
Yeah,
But
later.
yeah, but this guy is phenomenal from England. He does different optical illusions. He mixes science with magic. And he was really good. They were all very, very nice and personable and approachable, which is very nice.
What was the one mentalist name?
Oh my gosh.
David, was it David?
Gerard.
David
He
Gerard.
made me stay up.
Oh, I
all
think
night.
I've heard of him.
Wow.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, I don't know exactly what methods he's using with his mentalism, but he really gives the illusion
Ooh.
that he's reading your mind. I mean, work. And yet he knows what book is on your shelf at home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he knows who your friend
wasn't
is.
that. It wasn't on your. It wasn't it. He has you thinking about when you're a little girl, this woman, and in your memory, there's some books on your shelf. Now pull down the ones that you don't want. Now, which one is still on the shelf? And she didn't. Did she write it down?
I think she said it,
She said it.
but he had it.
He had it written down. The Giving Tree. I don't know how he got that.
That's crazy.
It is. I was like, I told him, I said, you kept me up. I was like Googling and how do you do this mentalism? And I was intrigued. He really blew my mind.
Yeah, this guy borderline freaky. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like that. And I've worked with mentalists throughout the years.
Definitely.
And so we're sitting in the lobby at the hotel, and he comes walking by, and I said, "Oh, that's him." I said, "David," and so he turned around and said, "Man, you did a really good job." I said, "I don't think I've ever seen anything."
And then I kept trying to keep my mind blank so he wouldn't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah. She's
And
probably.
my crazy childhood memories.
Oh yeah, we're thinking of hitting me with a crowbar or something.
Yeah. I see a crowbar and a bashed in skull. Chuck, run.
yeah. But you know what? Check this guy out. I'm gonna have to do some research on him myself. His name is
No, he was American.
yeah
San Francisco.
he was from San
That's
Francisco.
right.
Yeah, David Gerard.
Yeah,
He was
very
absolutely
good.
amazing.
Oh, very cool. Sounds like a good time. I tell you what, some of the photos that you guys sent me in the video, it looked absolutely fantastic. The dealer room looked really cool. I could only imagine some of the the vintage stuff that was in their books and all that. I would have
Yeah.
been, oh, I'd have been in heaven there.
You would have, I'm telling you. But Eddie, I'm sorry, they didn't have any robot plans. I looked.
Now take a drink.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
we did
I
look.
heard you mention it.
I know, several times.
I know. It
I
was kind of
thinking
funny though.
ya.
No, I was gonna say, Cheri, it was kind of funny with you because you're going along the table and you got all the displays there. And all of a sudden you go to one that looked like it had a ghost in the cover, a book.
Uh-huh.
And right before you got to it, you pointed the camera up, and I'm like, "What?
I didn't even
Oh,
see
go
that. Did you?
back!"
No, I'm sorry. Aw. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad you guys had a good time and everything. So Eddie, what's new at House of the Unusual? You're always busy doing something. So what's the new
Well,
thing this week, and how's your storage unit going?
I haven't hit the storage in about 2 weeks now.
Oh,
only
wow.
For a couple of minutes, but I've been really busy at work. But one good thing is that I did finish the design cover for the Go Ship Times. I'm going to be mailing them to you, Joe, probably tomorrow or Friday morning, and then you can take it from there. The other thing that's going on is that it was kind of interesting in the process of me looking through the internet and stuff the other day. I was kind of shocked that, I was thinking, and a lot of us have been thinking over the years that, mail order was very popular in the 70s. Everywhere you walked, there were magic tricks, jokes, novelties. Well, if you go to Five Below, you would see a whole section that sells jokes, right?
Right.
And you could say, well, it's Five Below. But I was shocked. I accidentally put the word in joke shop or something like that in the internet. And I was shocked at two things. One, how big magic and jokes are in the UK and were, even though I heard a lot in the past, people that lived in the UK say, hey, the problem with the UK is that, we wish we were in the United States so that we could have bought the cool stuff you guys could get through comic books. We didn't have that here. That might be quite true in the sense that they didn't have like the 7-foot ghost, the Frankenstein. They sold more like just jokes and magic tricks in the UK. And Elliston, that famous catalog up in that area, was probably the Johnson Smith of the UK. But either or, what I was going to say is I was shocked that on eBay, there's about 6 magic shops. And one of them, the guy's a power seller, and he sells like boxes of jokes. And for 25, 30 bucks. And what really blew my mind was that when I looked at each one, it said 600 sold, 65 pieces sold. And I'm like, really? So, the thing it kind of blew on, it grew on me is that, and I'm glad because that's where we are. I mean, House of the Unusual was founded on jokes and magic tricks. And that's how I got it. But it's pretty strong, Chuck. And in fact, I would say it's probably even stronger than it was in the 80s.
That's amazing. Wow.
And there's so many magic shops opening up in the area. All you guys have to look up is magic shop or jokes and magic shop on Google, hit images, and watch how many of those things are around.
That's amazing.
It really is. Because in my area, you only see magic shops, like have been around. Either they're no longer there or they're still in business from the last 50 years,
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was really phenomenal. And the other thing is I was also looking at a YouTube channel yesterday, and they had a 1950s clip. There's a channel that has like they restored original film, and they have 1950s clip of like New York City. They're taking movies where this guy's like riding the subway, and I just found it phenomenal. The people, the way they dressed, and they colorized it, so it looks really nice. And you hear the sound and the people talking. They also worked that over in Dolby sound. So, they've done a really good job there. And, I guess the last thing I'm going to bring to the table is the other day, Mr. Joe, which my wife was going to make me go live in the storage. Because Joe, he showed me a book and said, did anybody buy this book in the forum? Now, the book he was talking about is none other than the most legendary film ever to be lost. It's probably the holy grail of silent films and films in general, which is the London After Midnight. And Joe showed us this book, and guess what I did? I went on Amazon, Joe, and I'll say the word curses,
Uh-oh.
and I purchased the book, Joe. The
You know what?
problem was,
I was, and I'm glad you said something about that because I was looking to buy. I was actually last night. I was going on Amazon to buy it, and there was none left on there. So I said, what the heck's going on? So I was doing a little research, and I believe they pulled it because there's some issues with the binding. So make sure when you get yours, check the binding and all that because
Oh.
they stopped producing them and they were doing something to fix the binding on it.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I read about, actually, if you go to the Facebook, on the Facebook itself, from the guy, the author, he said that he stopped the production because of several, he doesn't specify what it was. One guy did make a comment about the binding. I think what it is that he published the book on demand, even though it's a hardcover edition, whatever, but I think it's made in England, not the United States. And apparently it's 400 and something pages. And there might have been a little bit, to be honest with you, I know that some guy, whatever, I wound up paying, and I gotta say it in the low thing, almost $100, But I have to say, because if I get hurt, I'm gonna live in the storage tonight. you know. And but I gotta say, Joe, that movie has always been in my mind for years, and the reason is because, and I think I have it in one of the, on the YouTube channel. There is one particular video that I did that I show how finds that you can get in a flea market, whatever it was, and I walked into an aftermarket store there, and I said, and in there you'll see that one of those dolls is the London After Midnight, and it's a phenomenal gray, black and white. It's like the gray edition of the doll, and it has a phenomenal character inside. It's a very good look alike of the doll inside is Lon Chaney Sr. And he died obviously in 1930. So the thing I could say is that the movie itself, ever since I bought that doll and found out, this is like probably 15 years ago, that it's the most sought after film, and there's no actual film known to exist except one that was put together by a guy who took a lot of stills, and he kind of retraced the movie.
Yeah, you could find it on Amazon, on YouTube.
You
The movie
can find
with
it on
stills.
That's right, and you can also find the one that. What was the second part they did to
But
that?
but supposedly, I believe that guy used the script to put it together. But supposedly, there's some differences from what the actual movie was compared to the script that's available.
Yeah, there was, but what was the one they remade it? What is it called? Mark of the Vampire was the version that by the same guy who redid it, but with a
I
different
can't
name.
remember.
Yeah, what they did is they did a second film. They did that film. They redid the film with different actors, of course. But I think it's called either Mark of the Vampire. I know Bela Lugosi stars in it, and but the whole point is the fact of the lost can be found, just like my robot plans. I was obsessed with that film, and let me tell you though, I looked in my storage to see if it would be there.
Well, Eddie, I'm looking on the London After Midnight, the Lost Film Books Facebook page, and the author Daniel Titley, he actually commented on somebody about the binding, and he said he was let down by Amazon's KDP Publishing, so he's trying to get something better for the binding. And then someone asked if they should cancel their order on Amazon. He said, I would try.
Oh,
So
wow.
you might want to maybe try canceling that and waiting till he gets it a little bit better and then purchase it after that, because I guess some people have been having a lot of issues with it.
Well, it's already coming, obviously, but
well, hopefully yours is one of the ones that doesn't, because I know a few people on there said they haven't had any problems yet.
Because you know what the problem is with that, Joe, and this is something that people out there probably don't even realize. There was a book that came out 7 or 8, 10 years ago on the creature from the Black Lagoon. It was a 400 and something page book, and it was selling for $75, I guess, because I mean it was pretty expensive at the time. I tried to obtain a copy, but I didn't right away, so they sold out right away. And then guess what happened? They got hit by copyrights and stuff, and the book could not be sold anymore, and it was taken off the market.
Oh wow.
I got a
Today,
copy.
you got a copy.
I got a
There you
copy of it.
Hey, that's
Did
probably
you
it.
really?
I got it like the first day it hit for sale. I purchased one. Yeah.
Wow. You know that book goes for over $1,000.
Wow, you got a good one there, Joe.
I tell you what, I read it cover to cover. It's absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
And you know, it's speaking of lost films, because there's a ton out there, and it seems like every year there's something new that's found. But I was reading this the other day. I thought it was really cool, and it was on the Classic Horror Film Board, and there was an actual horror film, a silent film that was relocated in I believe it was October, and it's called Go and Get It. It's from 1920.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
going to try to find the little article here. There was a link for an article because the film, I guess, was playing at certain different venues in Italy. They were showing it, but it actually had a big premiere at a place in London. As soon as I find the link here, I'll let you guys know the place here. Okay, I'm pulling it up now. So it actually just did a screening at the Gothic Film Society in London, and I tell you, this film looks really cool. It's like one of the first like gorilla with, you know, like a human type brain type films, and the gorilla that they have, it looks like a mix between a zombie, a skeleton, a gorilla, and a Frankenstein monster.
Oh.
It's like terrifying.
Wow.
But it looks really cool. And if you go to Classic Horror Film Board, they have it right there on their front page as one of the announcements. So I'm really excited about this. I've never heard of this movie before, but apparently they found the copy of it straight from the nitrate. So they have been premiering it at different places. So I'm hoping sometime in the very near future there's going to be a DVD release. Somebody might, you know, copy it on YouTube or something. So I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic, and it's supposed to, from a few of the reviews that have come in about it, they said that it's a great movie. So it's nice to see that these lost films are slowly being found. And that book that we were talking about, the London After Midnight book, there's actually, I believe, 8 movie stills in there that were previously unreleased. There was a collector in the Canary Islands that actually had them. And this the guy that put out the book, Mr. Titley, he actually found this guy somehow and put those pictures in the book. So that's why that book is becoming very popular, because there's 8 photos in there that have never been before released that are actual stills from the movie.
Wow.
So it's kind of giving me hope, you know, that someday this movie's going to be found. I know there's some, you know, elderly person out there that has this movie in a film world just sitting in their attic somewhere.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
don't know that they have it, because that's how all this stuff is. Someone does it, you know, they're going through boxes, or they pass away and the family's going through boxes, and someone's like, oh, what's this? And they realize that it's a lost film. So
absolutely.
there's always, you know, we got to keep our fingers crossed that London After Midnight will one day be found.
You know, stuff like that happens all the time. But, you know, which is the same with magic. You know, many times, unfortunately, people don't know what it is, and they'll get a dumpster and they'll throw all this stuff in it.
That's just horrifying.
Well, Joe, what you're saying right there, I think it was also Mr. Titley or somebody in the Facebook, I read a comment that they said that if the movie was even to be found, the chances of it actually being even worth anything, unless they kept it because of the years,
right?
You know, it would probably not even have anything on it. But one thing I want to tell you right now, Joe, is that movie, because of the way people have been, I think it's made, and a lot, even the comment the guy made, one of the guys in the Facebook there, I think it was Facebook I read, or just on the internet, and I was reading after, you know, obviously the book, is that the movie itself was such a letdown from people that actually saw it.
Yeah,
it's more like the fact that no one has it or whatever, the lore that becomes more of people wanting it, but more than the actual movie is going to be a
Right.
satisfying thing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that too. That from people that have actually seen it in reviews that it wasn't that good, or some people downright hated it. But it's a fact that it's part of it's a very historical movie.
Very historical, yeah.
In the realm of classic horror. So just to have it, I think everybody out there that watches or is a fan of classic horror or just a fan of movies wants to see this movie just at least once, no matter how bad it might be. And that goes for, I think, any type of lost film, because we just want to see what it was, whether it's good, bad, or somewhere
Absolutely.
in between.
Yeah, but I think this one gets more of that because it's Lon Chaney.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's a Lon Chaney, so
Exactly.
anytime you can find something with him is fantastic. And I do believe that one day it will be found, and somebody could have it right now and they're just waiting for the right time or right person that wants to pay tons of money to buy it.
No, that's true. You're right.
What about if
there's a lot of people out there like that kind of want to gatekeep it and wait to get paid.
Yeah,
no
right.
one knows if it might be in my storage, Joe.
Yeah, it just might. Yeah, you probably have it there.
You probably do. Yeah. We picked up a book. Well, you know what? We didn't actually pick it up about 24 hours ago. It's about 24 hours now to the exact time. We did a show at an assisted living place, and there's an elderly gentleman there because they've hired me before about 3 or 4 times. His name is Peter. Very, very nice guy. He always comes up. Hey, Chuck, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. So we talked, and I did the show, and then he went back to his room. He comes back with this book for me, and I'm holding it right now. I think Cheri just sent you guys
the front and back pictures of the front and the back.
Yeah, the pictures of the front and back.
I thought, I got it. I thought that was a DVD at first. That's a book, though.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty heavy book. It's a thick book. It's a hardcover. It's called The Great Movie Stars of the Golden Years, and it's by David Shipman.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, you know what? So there's Humphrey Bogart, The Wizard of Oz. How many pages, Cheri? She's pretty thick.
I just sent you guys a link too for the review of that. Go and get it. You should see
cool.
what the monster looks like on it.
Okay, yeah, we'll check it. This looked close to about 700 500 570 pages, but it's really cool. Yeah, that was very nice of him doing that. So I certainly appreciate it. But
that's what I try to find every year when I go to Monster Bash is, books about all these golden age movie stars, and it's just so fantastic to read about them and interesting way that they live their lives and everything, and what they did, at the early onset of film, and how they made the special effects, how their method of acting and everything is just very, very interesting.
Yeah. Cheri's looking at this right now. Did you get his?
Yeah, actually, I went in there earlier and signed up, but I'm trying to find out. Is that the Rondo Hatton Classic Horror Awards?
Yes.
Is that the post? And then you could go in and suggest.
Yeah, it says let's see. It says here's where to suggest nominees for the 21st annual Rondo Awards for work in 2022. So that's where you would go and post your any of your nominations.
Okay, sounds good.
Where are you guys sending this photograph? So you send it to the texting or the email?
Oh, I sent the book pictures to your text.
To my text. Okay, yeah, because I'm not one question, Joe, do me a favor, send me a picture of that creature book that you apparently got before I did.
What? Okay, yeah. I'll have to get it. It's on my bookshelf in the basement, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because I remember that book when it came out, and it's so, it kind of, one thing that it's just like when this guy passed away, the guy who owned Apple, what's his name, Steve Jobs, they made an action figure of him, and I went and purchased 3 of them. And guess what happened?
What were you going to try to reanimate them to make iPhones for you?
No, what happened was I knew that the price was going to skyrocket. The family attacked it, and only a few people got him. I got a refund for all 3 of them. And guess what? They're each selling for like 10 grand now.
Wow.
It's the same thing. And I have a feeling this book that I just got, Joe, now you made me even realize it more. The fact that the guy might be reprinting and stuff, but the fact that it's a first printing and stuff, it could go up in crazy money, man.
Yeah, I would definitely just get it and just hang on to it. Why not?
Yeah.
I remember getting it when it first came out, and it covers all 3 movies, tons of pictures and everything. It's a hardback book, and it's fantastic. I mean, there's tons of, gosh, especially with Universal Monsters, there's tons and tons of books out there for all of them, and it's once you start like looking through them and reading them, you get to see, a lot of them use like the same photos over and over, and a lot of it's the same information, but it's still just fun to have them, I guess. I got a whole bookshelves full of them that I don't know what I'm going to do with.
Well,
they're always fun to, it's like almost like going on a treasure hunt. Every time you see someone at a convention that has a bunch of books and you're going through them to see, what don't I have? What do I have? I want this or that. And, there's some out there that just go for crazy amounts, and you're looking and you're like, but for what? You could find the same photos and information in another book you could buy for $5, but this is $100 book, for what?
You know what's kind of weird about that, Joe, really quick? It's just like the book my brother sent you and Chuck. When that came out, it was like $75, right?
Yeah.
Now they're selling for like 20, but that's because I think it's a generic one. It doesn't have any particular thing about any particular monster. The other thing I was going to say is, it's just like one day I'm talking to somebody, I forget who it was. I said, hey, that book that they made, Fast Times at Richmond High? That book is going for like $1,000. I said, what?
Whoa.
I look at my shelf, and lo and behold, I had one that I had bought for like $2 in a flea market years ago. I actually got $276 on eBay for that book.
Wow.
And it only cost me $2. And it's
goodness.
a paperback. And this is the book, Fast Times at Richmond High, where they based the movie from.
Okay.
And, I said, I don't want that garbage. I mean, I just bought it. I don't even know why I bought it. But there's this one book that David produced from Dave Harvesat. And the book is, Pleasant Nightmares? Anytime that shows up is $500, $600, $700.
Oh, that's a cool book. I never had that, but that's a cool book. Wow, I've known people that had that.
And Chuck, the ones you told people to buy, they're each like $600.
Yeah.
The ones you have. I think it all depends what the topic is about. If it's just Universal Monster, you might not get it. But if it's something like The Creature, which they're like, again, there's a cult following for The Creature somehow. I don't know why the people that do collect The Creature pay crazy amounts.
Yeah.
Or their stuff is not as big as Frankenstein and Dracula. But when you do have something that's Creature, it's definitely a worth buy. It's like, you got to buy it,
Oh, yeah. When there's fans of, I'm a fan of all the Universal Monster characters, Dracula in particular, but I'm not like a fanatic where everything I buy has to be Dracula.
Right.
And there's fans out there that they like Dracula, the Frankenstein monster, the Mummy, and so on. But when you find a fan that is a fanatic about Creature from the Black Lagoon, they are absolute fanatics. They are like the best fans ever. They buy everything and anything about the Creature. They know everything about the Creature. And it's awesome to see their collections and listen to them, because they are absolutely fanatics about that. And I don't think you really see that with any of the other, Universal Monsters.
No.
Which is weird.
Yeah, because that's like kind of one of the, I guess not really lesser known ones, but it was put out, years after, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Werewolf, and all those. So it's always kind of like and over the years, Dracula's always been popular. Mummies, they've reproduced all those movies to death, werewolves, but not the Creature. But the Creature, I think, has the strongest fan base out of all of them.
It does. And I never liked it until my friend got me involved. And then all of a sudden, guess what? I got to have the Creature. And,
and that's that goon from the Black Lagoon.
From the Black Lagoon.
My favorite.
If you guys go, it's not too many you can still get. But in Amazon, they sell a mask of the Creature that's like $50-something. That mask is going to go up for hundreds of bucks. I bought 3 of them a while back.
Oh my goodness.
But I gave one to my friend. This is like before we started the podcast. But
Cheri, that's what you need for next year at Monster Bash. Get the Creature mask and put like one of those old fedoras on it or something, so you could be the goon from the Black Lagoon. I'll bring a cigar. You could put it in your mouth and be like, what are you doing over here?
That's right.
And have Chuck have his own little ventriloquist dummy with you.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Put it on the dummy, honey.
Hey, did you guys hear anything? I actually got a catalog envelope the other day in the mail, and I was surprised. I was wondering what it was. Remember, Eddie, when we were signing up for those little calls KAWS toys?
Yeah, you got it. You got a set.
Yeah, they did send me one. I was surprised. I came out of.
You won it, huh? I won 3 sets, and I got one, but I still haven't received my others.
Okay, yeah, I was surprised I got it in the mail. I'm wondering what the heck is this, and I looked, and they're kind of cool. Count Chocula and a few things on
Chuck, they're going for as much as $100. So keep those sets.
there. Wow.
That guy, if you have the cereal boxes, Cos is a very famous international artist.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff is going to go for a lot of money. Those little things.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Wow.
Sure, hold on to it.
Yeah, I'll make sure.
Don't make a magic trick.
No, I won't make a magic trick out of it. Oh.
They put electronics to it.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing I wanted to mention is Cheri started with the Sea Monkeys. She started yesterday. Go ahead, Cheri. Tell them about it. We're filming it to make like a little collage for you, Eddie. So here's Cheri.
A little bit video. Yeah, I'm going to be putting them in the water. I had it's real simple to set it up and everything. I just pray to God that they grow, because if not, I have some big shrimp in my freezer. I can just pop in there.
Yeah, they'll be feeding them shrimp and steak and all that. They'll be huge, muscular sea monkeys that look like they just got out of a gym.
You think they'll like shrimp? No, they got. I have the little packet of food. Everything it's so cute, and I already put the water purifier in yesterday, and it's sitting there, and I stirred it up, and then I'll put the eggs in a little later, and then they should hatch within 5 days, and then I'll videotape that, and then I think I feed them once it's like 4 or 5 days after they hatch. I'll read it again.
Well, Cheri, make sure you have on the forum a couple of months, or gosh, it might even been later than that. I'm trying to find it now.
Yeah,
I have a thread on there for sea monkeys where I put some video and photos of mine. So if you want to add yours on there,
okay.
and it says, it's April 28th of last year's the last time I did it. It's called Sea Monkey Family Edition, and it's on the 3rd page of the forum. So if you want to add on to that, and we could keep it going, because I've been meaning to redo my sea monkeys too. So now you guys are kind of getting me hyped up to do mine. So maybe I'll do mine, and we could all put ours on there.
Oh, we'll be Sea Monkey Family.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll all be involved. And one thing, guys, remember, I don't know if you guys know, but Chuck, I think I told Chuck or I told somebody, but Mr. Todd quit his day job and became the CEO of the Sea Monkeys.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Well, congratulations, Todd.
Great. That's great.
Congratulations. And one of the best things is they even gave him his own seahorse so he can ride over the sea when he goes to check on the sea monkeys.
That's cool.
He's all set. So officially at the end of this month, he's working full time with the Sea Monkeys.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the best thing about it is that he's also writing a book with Yolanda. And that's when I asked him to write a chapter for our book that's hopefully come at the end of this year. And he, at the same time, I said, you could sell your book through that. So write it and then have a summary about the book that's coming up. And he liked the whole idea. So yeah, Todd will be able, and also between him and Dr. Saab, they've been working on a date so we can do a live round robin like we did that one time.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And so everything's going pretty good, man.
I can't wait. That's going to be a great book to read about the sea monkey. I'm sure it digs into the history and all that, and that's going to be really cool. It's nice to see stuff like this, coming back around, the sea monkeys and all that. When I bought, I didn't buy them. I believe Todd sent me some for my nieces, and they put them together, and they absolutely loved it. They're. I think at the time when they did it, they were 4 and 6, and they absolutely loved them.
Yeah.
So,
and another good thing that just happened yesterday. Are you guys are aware of that? There's a guy named Jason Willis, and if you look up Moon Monster and stuff, he's a graphic artist, and every year he does a lot of but he does like. In Christmas, not Christmas, Halloween time, he puts together things, and he did one for the Moon Monster that says Moon Monster, like those YouTube videos.
Yeah.
He did one for the horror record of Johnson Smith.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, Joe?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, look up Jason Willis Moon Monster and see the clip he did. And he did well anyway. Jason Willis, I wasn't sure if I connected with him in the past or not. I believe I did somehow. And I wrote him about 4 days ago. And I'm like, Jason, how would you like to help us? Like, I mean, join the House of the Unusual, help us in some type of thing. And he came back and he told me he was a really big fan of what we were doing, that he's been following, apparently he's been following us, and he loved the idea. So
Nice.
he was traveling right now, and he's going to get a hold of me sometime next week. And just for you to get an idea how good he is and what he does, Joe, do Google that Moon Monster, Jason Willis. It's on YouTube, whatever, and it's like a 30-second commercial he did for the Moon Monster, and it's phenomenal. It's just like he captures the thing from the era and brings it back to life, man. It's really great.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on his site right now. It's jasonwillis.com.
Yeah.
He has the ad on there and a lot of other stuff for it. And he has a back story for the Moon Monster. So I'm going to have to check that out today.
Yeah, that looks cool. That looks really nice. You know what? We just brought it up now. That's pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah, he is. But if you guys look, and if you look at what Jason Willis did as well, he made, like, for example, he made one for the horror record from Johnson Smith, a cartoon thing like that. And he also, I think, did one for Creepy Magazine. Like every year, he does an experiment, I think, and he puts it up on his thing. He's really phenomenal. In fact, I believe Mail Order Mysteries, Kirk searched him out to get some help from him. Like I said, I don't really know much about it, or I did, but I don't remember because it's whatever. But I do know that I've been following him for years, and he's he's phenomenal. He's, like I said, there's graphic artists. You can have graphic artists from NBC, ABC television. It doesn't matter, but only certain people have it in them to be able to captivate and capture, the 1970s in from comic book mail.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that,
Right.
Yeah, that is some great artwork. And I tell you what, the Moon Monster's absolutely freaky looking.
Oh,
I'm looking at it right now, some of the stuff, and at the bottom of the page where the moon, he has some of the old ads and everything up, and some of the artwork, and it's really cool. I want to find this button that he has up there. It says, "I am a member of the horror fan club."
I have.
You probably got 30 of them.
No, but I do have two. No, I have two original Moon Monster sets that I bought years ago, and I also, as you know, if you look inside Mail Order Mysteries, I have the very first version of the Moon Monster ever made before the one that you see there, the famous one, which is the one where he's standing sideways. And the story with that is Universal Monster Army one time years ago. I think Toy Ranch is the guy that goes under that name, Toy Ranch or something. He was apparently trying to buy something, and he saw the ad. Somebody said that they had a Moon Monster ad in the original envelope, and it was from 1968 or 1959, 59, right? And the sister was selling it because she said, my brother used to scare me with this, whatever. And she put it on there, and I went and I was like, that's a fake, because it's not really, how can the moon? So I don't know what made me decide to outbid everybody. So I sniped accidentally Toy Ranch in the process. And he's like, he comes on the forum and says, somebody right now just sniped me. And I didn't want to say it was me because at the time it was kind of funny the way it happened, And when I got the thing, I flipped. I could not believe it was original. You can tell when you look at it that it's definitely original. It's definitely 1959. It says it on, and it came out of California, which threw me off because I know the Moon Monster, the guy lived about a mile from my house here. And they were all in Union City, New Jersey. And the last known address for him in 1969 was 4806 Burger Line Avenue in Union City, New Jersey. And prior to that, he had it in Upper Union City. North Bergen, which is the town I live in. And the whole thing is that, I was shocked that there was a 1959 different Moon Monster. So you know what, guys? all you guys know I've been holding off on that Moon Monster, but I'm soon going to put it out because that would make the last of and that's going to be phenomenal because people are going to go crazy trying to get that because it's the only known copy.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're coming up towards like the last 10 minutes here, and we'd be really remiss if we didn't mention this. But of course, as many of you guys know, some people might not know, but we lost Lisa Loring this week.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
was the Wednesday Addams. Yeah.
No. Wow.
She passed away on January 29th at 64 years old. And I tell you what, she was great as Wednesday Addams. I mean, she
Yes.
was just
Yes.
this cute little girl that you wouldn't think, nothing of it. And then she had this little dark side to her, and she was just so funny in her role there. She played it absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And she's definitely going to be missed in the horror community, and just a community that enjoys TV shows and television and all
Oh, yeah.
that.
I
So,
think the only one left from the Addams family is John Aston. He's like 92 or
Wow.
93, something like that.
oh wow.
He's in good shape. When I
Yeah.
met him, he's in great shape, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems, every year, and I was just talking this about someone the other day, it's more and more we're losing our classic horror and sci-fi movie and TV stars, and pretty soon there's going to be, none of them left, and we're going to have to move on to like the 70s and 80s and 90s because all these people from 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even the little ones, they're all passing away, and of course, they're older age, but Lisa is 64 years old, still very young, and it's just sad to think about, in a couple of decades they'll all be gone.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about it, she died also when the Now Wednesday on Netflix is becoming.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is really strange. Oh, my
That
goodness.
is, Pugsley's still alive too, guys.
Is he still alive? I thought he was dead.
No, Pugsley's around.
Pugsley. Oh, okay.
Everybody else died, but John Austin is still around.
Wow. Hey, look at Lisa Marie Presley. She was at the premiere of the Elvis movie, with,
Isn't that weird?
and she died 2 days later, man.
That's so strange.
Yeah, and then who
at the
else?
awards.
We lost Cindy Williams this week
Cindy
too,
Williams. Yeah.
at
What?
75 from
Kidding me.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, I used to watch that. I know. Wow.
Yeah, it's sad. They keep
Yeah.
going and going.
Wow.
Yeah, life keeps going. Huh?
If you go to the Twilight Zones, there's hardly anybody left from the Twilight Zones.
Yeah.
William Shatner is one of the very few. I mean,
Wow.
I
yeah.
don't
Yeah,
think
well-
he's ever gonna go. He's like Betty White. They'll go when they want to go.
Yeah.
When they're good and ready, they'll go.
Yeah, he's like a cockroach. He'll hang around for a
Yeah.
while.
Guy's 91 already, 92. He's still doing television shows. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
God
He
bless
does In Search Of,
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
him. Yeah.
unknown, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sad. All these old timers are going, and we're not going to have anybody left. They'll all be just alive in our books and
Just a
everything.
memory.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
true.
Yeah, and so far this year we've lost a lot. We lost David Crosby, Bobby Hall. He died. What was it? Yesterday, I believe. Yeah, the 30th. Are you guys for Bobby
Yeah.
Hall? He was the hockey player.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a big time hockey player. He passed away, and we got a lot of people going.
yeah.
So this
you
is a
know,
bad year so far.
You know who died too, which makes me freaking pissed every time I think of it? You know how many times the guys from The Creature from the Black Lagoon, both of them were a chiller? I mean, both of them at the same time, a bunch.
Wow.
And I just never, and I passed by them a million times, and I just never even considered getting an autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, now I'm like,
Yeah, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily a few years back I was able to get Julia Adams and Rico Browning. I got a nice I can't remember what size is black and white photo with both of their signatures on it, but I believe Rico Browning, yeah, he's still kicking, 92 years old.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think he's doing conventions anymore. He hasn't been at Monster Bash in a couple years, which is understandable at his age, but Julie Adams, she was going, every year right up until she passed away in 2019, and she was 92 at the time as well.
Wow. Yeah. I think Barbara Eden is in her early 90s, isn't she?
Wow.
I guess. Well, you know what? When you look at Barbara Eden, she still looks really good for her age.
Yeah.
But when you look at her arms and stuff, you can tell, because one thing about Barbara
Yeah,
Eden
she's 91.
No,
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy. One thing about her, though, I'm going to tell you guys, though, she was the nicest person I've ever met, like actors. I mean, she actually let me stand in front of her face with a camera, filming her for like 10 minutes.
Isn't that nice? Wow.
Didn't care.
Well, that's because you probably had a gun or something towards her. She's like, oh
Well,
my gosh, I got
Yeah. A red laser posted
Yeah.
on
no, I threatened that I would put her back in the bottle.
it.
Yeah.
You threatened her.
Yep. Poor
Oh.
Barbara.
Man, they were making a fortune. They were selling the bottles for like $200 and some.
Oh wow.
And then each to get it signed was like $50 a piece.
How many bottles did you buy, Eddie?
No, I just got
30.
No, I got one night. I was
One. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't afford the rest.
You got one each day.
Yeah.
You guys know that if you get an empty bottle, the one that they use, what is it called? It was like a liquor bottle. That thing's like $100 and something, man.
Yeah. The podcast
Which
at
one
one
is
time.
that?
It's a 1964 Jim Beam, I think it was
Really?
a Christmas bottle. I
me
think.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
they use for
And
bottles?
I saw a guy on Etsy about a year ago. He was printing these. He was 3D printing them, and so I bought one, just a plastic
Oh, did you?
replica of it, and it's purple. Some electronics to it. So there's a video where I secretly push a
Oh.
button and it smokes. Smoke comes out of it.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm reading this right now online. So the actual bottle was a special Christmas 1964 Jim Beam liquor
Right.
decanter containing Beam's Choice
Right.
bourbon whiskey. It was designed by Roy Kramer for the Wheaton Bottle Company.
Yeah.
That's
I love
very.
the
I
shape of
never
that.
knew that. That's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
I love
Yeah,
the
I
shape of
didn't know
that
that
bottle.
either.
That bottle has the coolest
On
shape.
eBay.
Wow.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is pretty cool. I wonder if there's any out there still filled with some
$250.
Beam.
Well,
On eBay.
I can tell you one thing, guys. The one Chuck has is a fake.
I know that.
It doesn't really have a genie in it, you know.
Yeah, that he knows of. He hasn't opened it yet.
Unless, let me ask you a question. What's your real name, Cheri?
Meaning?
Are you the genie in the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
Oh.
No. Just Barbara Eden was.
Yeah, Barbara Eden was one of us. She was something. And she
Yeah.
seemed like a nice person.
Yeah,
she did.
she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people, some of those actors, they don't even give you the time of day.
No, they don't. You
No,
know,
No.
yeah.
That's a
They've
shame.
been
And
through a lot of those, and that's you
Been through
look up to these people, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'd love to meet him. Then you finally meet, and you're like, God, I wish I could get that time back.
and
Yeah.
you know what's kind of crazy? When I met her, she actually had lost her son a month before to suicide.
Aw.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised that she had such nice character. Like she was
Yeah.
very humble.
The sad thing, actors are rude to little kids.
Yeah, I don't like
To,
that.
Yeah.
kids. That's not nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
There were
really look up to them and they want to.
yeah, there was a pretty popular star. I don't want to say his name or anything, but this father said that when the little kid come up and say, "Can I have your autograph?" He goes, "Beat it, kid, you little crap." And that was
that's
terrible. That's
terrible.
ridiculous.
Even some of the
Yeah.
Star, sports figures and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Most are nice, but some are can be really arrogant.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's too bad. Well, hey guys, we got to start wrapping it
Oh,
up
yeah,
here. We
let's
got
go.
about 2 minutes, man. This
Oh.
time flew by today, man.
Woohoo!
So, guys, everybody out there that's listening to us, thank you so much for joining us every week. And if you've just joined on, thank you. Hopefully,
Yes.
we've piqued your interest enough that you'll keep coming back week after week. Find us on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to us. Give us a good review if you so choose. It definitely helps us with all this algorithm stuff that goes on, because we want to get out there to more and more people. And we have houseoftheunusual.com. We have a free forum on there. We're hoping that you join it, interact with everybody. And if you want to be a victim, I mean, not a victim, but if you want to be a guest on our show, let us know on there, because a lot of our guests that we've had in the past, came on the forum, started interacting and talking, posting their interests and all that, and we've invited them onto the show, and they're absolutely very interesting to listen to, and they have a lot of information on there. So we're always looking for some new people. So if you want to come on and talk about your favorite movie or your favorite hobby, whatever you collect, that's the place to get us. So definitely join on there. Also, we're on YouTube. Just type in the search bar House of the Unusual. You'll find our site. Subscribe to that. Like the videos, because another algorithm. We have to compete with that. So that definitely helps us out. And we're here every week for you guys. Hopefully bring you guys some entertainment, some information and all that. And hey, that's about it, and otherwise you can find us on houseoftheunusual.com under the forum. We're always posting some really cool stuff up there. So if you got some cool photos of your hobbies and all that and what you collect and what you like, post them on there, man. We'd all love to see them. So
Definitely.
Chuck, Cheri, Eddie, that's all we got for this week. That was a great conversation, man. I had a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
God bless.
see
Goodbye, guys.
everybody next week. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
God
Good
bless.
night. God bless.